Hi there, my name is Matti Sulanto. I'm a photographer and a Lumix ambassador based in Helsinki, Finland. In this video, I'm gonna take a look at this Olympus M.Zuiko 12 to 100mm f4 Pro lens. I've had several requests to review also Olympus lenses on Panasonic Lumix camera bodies. And this is now the first one. If you'd like more of these, please let me know in the comments down below and I'll see what I can do. This lens, this particular zoom, is not mine. Last time I met my good friend Peter Forsgaard, who's an Olympus visionary and another YouTuber. I'll put his channel down below, a link. If you don't already know him, please take a look at his channel. And last time we met, I sneaked into his camera bag and I borrowed this one. Thanks, Peter. You'll get this lens back as soon as I'm done with this video. And before I go to the review itself, please let me remind you that you can also subscribe to my channel and tap the bell down there so you'll get a notification every time I'll post a new video, and that happens on Tuesdays and Fridays. And now the review itself. I'd like to come clean right at the start that I'm biased because I'm not a huge fan of super zoom lenses like this. But still, this is a very interesting lens, and I wanted to have a look at this because I've never used this lens before, but many people like this lens and it has had very good reviews elsewhere. This is a pro-grade zoom lens that offers very versatile zoom range from 12mm wide angle all the way to 100mm telephoto, and that range is really good, and you should be able to cover almost everything unless you are specialized in, I don't know, wildlife or something like that. The maximum aperture is constant f4 all the way across the range, which is good. The constant part is good, but the f4 part is kind of slow. But the f4 also makes it possible to make this lens, reasonably compact. If it had faster maximum aperture, it would be larger, heavier, and also more expensive probably. This lens is pro-grade lens, so it has weather sealing, and all in all the construction seems very solid. The exterior is a mixture of plastic and metal. The inner barrel is metal. There's a small like a free play here when the lens is fully extended at 100mm, but it's nothing serious, and the construction really feels very solid and robust. And there's also an image stabilizer inside this lens, which is really good. It's very effective, and it also helps especially at the telephoto end. This lens also has Olympus's really nice manual focus clutch here, but I have to say I forgot to use it most of the time because I'm not used to having this type of manual focus clutch on my lenses, because not that many Lumix lenses have this feature. What comes to the size and weight, this is not exactly a small lens, but considering the range and the constant maximum aperture, I'd say it's still a pretty reasonably sized lens. This lens balance is really nice with the G9, and that's because the G9 is pretty large for a Micro Four Thirds camera. The autofocus is really super fast, and it's just almost faster than your mind when you're focusing on something. The image stabilizer is really effective. Olympus claims, I think, something like 5 stops or something, but the downside with Lumix cameras is that you will not get the dual IS function. The image stabilizer inside the camera body is useless with Olympus lenses. You would probably get another stop's worth of stabilization with the IBIS combined with the optical image stabilizer, and also the IBIS can stabilize also this kind of movement that the optical stabilizer can't do. But nevertheless, the This stabilizer is really effective, and you shouldn't have any like problems, even though the IBIS is not with it. And then the optical quality, of course. This lens has had very good reviews, and I honestly can't complain anything about the optical image quality or the image quality. I don't know, today maybe we shouldn't even talk so much about the optical image quality, but the image quality, because especially with Micro Four Thirds, both Olympus and Panasonic, there's a lot of electronic corrections going on. But I don't mind as long as the final image quality is good, and I can't really see that there's something going on behind the scenes. And best of all with the image quality on this lens is that it's very constant from the wide end all the way to the tele end and everything in between. It's really sharp all the way. The maximum aperture is only f4. But like I said, it makes it possible to keep the size and weight reasonable. But also, it doesn't make much sense to stop down a lot because you're already at the peak performance at maximum aperture. It makes only sense to stop down, I'd say, beyond f5.6 if you really need all that depth of field. Otherwise, I think it's wise to just keep it at f4, f5.6 range and be done with that. So who is this for, this lens? I think this lens is obviously for everybody who's looking for a super zoom lens, but also wants the pro quality mechanical construction. This could be a great travel lens maybe if you combined it with the one fast prime in say 15 to 25 millimeter range. One thing that this lens is not especially good for is the bokeh. You will not get much bokeh with this lens unless you shoot at close distances and use the telephoto end of the lens. This is an excellent lens if you are looking for a super zoom lens, and using it on Panasonic, there's not much you lose compared to using it on Olympus. The only thing is pretty much the dual IS function that you will not get if you use it on Lumix camera. The optical quality is really good. It has weathered ceiling and it has an effective optical image stabilizer. And the mechanical construction is really solid. The downsides are that it's relatively heavy and large lens, and also at around 1,200 euros or dollars, you can't call this a cheap lens. But I think the value for money is decent if you really want a pro-grade super zoom lens. And like I said at the beginning, please let me know in the comments down below if you want more of these Olympus M.Zuiko reviews. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.